Hi everybody, I'm Gio from Microsoft at Florida International University, and today is January 10th, 2014. It's 8:58 a.m. here, and in this video, I'm going to show you the advanced feature of particles. So particles, I'm considering them advanced because of the high level of customization they use, but at the same time, they can make your life a lot easier. And the reason they can make your life so simple is because traditionally, when you're using an explosion, you need several frames in order to replicate an explosion, because it has to start off, it has to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it has to disappear after time. So if you see what I'm talking about, you'll understand how inconvenient that could be. So the beautiful thing about particles is that particles do all of that without having a series of frames. And more specifically, you can customize the way these particles explode and the way they look without having to worry so much. So the beauty in particles lies in the ability to create a specific explosion of your desire without having to draw anything. So I'm going to show you how to use it. In my event sheet, I've put an update group with some logic inside, and in my input sheet, in my input group, I have nothing. So this is where I will be implementing my particle logic. And as you can see, I have a touch object, right? My screen size is default. The dimensions are default. So I have my 1366 by 768. That's what I mean by default, like my standard. So now I'm going to insert a particle object. The name doesn't matter at this point because I am only using one. So I'm going to start off by just placing a dot in the middle of my screen, right? And it's whatever, it's in the middle for now. I'm just going to consider that the middle. Now I have the particle properties. So I'm going to adjust these properties to make it more explosion-like. You can have a continuous spray, which means that those particles would continually be created until the end of time. Or you can have a one-shot, which means once the particles are done doing their work, it disappears. And this is ideal for an explosion. The next property we're going to cover is the spray cone, and we're going to set that to 360. And, whoa, not 3600. 360 practically means what is the degree of your particle's explosion. So it will explode in a 360 like a ring, right? So the rate is something that you can change, and that just says how many particles are created a second. The speed is something you can also change. 300 isn't bad. Size, you can also change that, and that's the size of each particle being created. And opacity, don't change that because you need it to be 100 if you want it to be clear. The grow rate should not be 0, because if it is 0, you will not even really see an explosion. So make it something decent like 50, and what we have now is an explosion. So the way we implement that is we go into our event sheet, add an event, and we're going to say whenever we touch an object, which is the onTouched object, event of the touch object, we're going to add the action where we first spawn a particle on top of our object, right? And then after we spawn that particle, we're going to destroy our object, right? So that's it. Before, I just have something that says create a random object, well, create an object at a random place on the screen every 1 to 5 seconds. So I'm going to run the layout and we're going to test it, right? Boom. So I'm killing stuff and now it's, exploding. Ideally, it's really cool. So you're probably still saying to yourself, that's kind of a small explosion, right? Like, I don't want that. So that's fine. Don't fret. I only did that as an example. You can actually create various types of explosions using particles, and I will show you right here and right now that that's possible. Right? So I have all these weird colors, right? And I'm going to X those out, and now I'm just going to adjust the properties a little more. So let's make the grow rate like 75. Let's make the rate like 60. Just changing it up a little bit, to see how things go. And I guess I'll leave it like that for now. So you're going to see some more things change. And you'll notice that this looks way more realistic of an explosion than the previous one did. See? So now you have all of that going on. And you have more colorful explosions, more volumeful, that's a word, explosions. And you're able to adjust this. So you can just tweak it, play with it, get it until it's right. And you have the explosion of your desire. It's very cool in my opinion because it just turns out ending up like you get an explosion without having to draw the art for that explosion, because I've had to do it and it's a total nightmare. You have to draw like 5 or 6 frames at least, and all of that is for one object. So these particles allow you to replicate that process so much faster. Anyways, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll put this project on the SkyDrive so you can download it later.